Hi, it's a Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. It's time for another makeup updates. I'm slowly trying to get myself caught up. I have been purchasing so much makeup recently that I just wanted to make sure I got a chance to get back to you to tell you what's amazing and what I would definitely pass on. All right, so I have a wide range of things in front of me. I do have some lip products. I have some tools, some eye makeup, but let's start first with some things that I got in PR. This is something from the brand Flight 70. This is their brightening primer. This is actually a really lovely product. What I like about Flight 70 is that they are a brand that is actually making products for mature skin. They're making products that will look good on everyone, but they're specially formulated for mature skin. This might have been too much. Yep, that's definitely too much. But what I like about this primer, it's got a really nice silicone-y feel, but it has a level of brightness to it and a little bit of glow. So it adds hydration and a little bit of shine. You can see the difference between my hand that doesn't have anything on it and the one that does. But it's not so glowy that it looks like a highlight. It just looks like really beautiful skin. But because it has that silicone-y element to it, it doesn't fully fill in all of my pores, but everything just sits nicely on it. I really have been liking this. I have been reaching for it. Another product that I got from Flight 70 that I am obsessed with, and if you saw my recent January favorites, you'll see it in there. This is their Just Like Heaven Glow Back Lucent Light. This is a cream highlight that is absolutely stunning. This is what it looks like right here. But what I love so much about this is that there is no real aggressive pearl to this. There is no, it's right here. There's no really shiny element. There's no glitter. There's very little shimmer, but it has such a believable glow on the face. I think out of all of the things, I tried 3 things from Flight 70. This is the one that I like the most and the one that I have been using like almost nonstop. On the days that I want a little bit of glow, but I don't want it to be like bling, I'll reach for this. On the days that I'm wearing hardly any makeup, I have just a little color corrector under my eyes, a light shade on my lips that I tap later onto my cheeks, I'll add just a little bit of this, and this is fantastic. The other thing that Flight 70 sent me is this. This is their High Shine lipstick. This is the shade Relax. Now they allowed me to choose a shade, and you know me and a red lipstick. I was like, yes, please. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a cool toned, almost like a blue-based red. It's on the glossy, slightly sheer side. I'm not in love with this. I wanted to like it a lot, but the one thing that I noticed is that this formula tends to kind of collect in my lip lines. Is it hydrating? Yes. Is it feel good on the lips? Yes. But when the pigment from a color like this kind of collects in my lip lines, it only makes my lips look a little bit older than they are. Some of the things that I do like, there's a magnetic closure here to this. I think that's a really nice touch. I don't know that I'm crazy about the gray and the white. I mean, I know that's kind of like their aesthetic, but this looks a little bit more blue. If this was blue and like one single color all over with a design on it, I probably would like it better. Like this here, it's blue and then it has kind of like this design on it with the white lettering. But the fact that it's gray and white, I don't know. It's a very luxurious packaging. It's slightly weighty, but I feel like I'm not going back for this product. I would definitely be willing to go back for this. And this has actually been really nice. Other things that I got in PR, What's Up Beauty was kind enough to send me the Dragon's Eye palette. Okay, I love this. This is so much fun. This is a beautiful palette with mattes and multi-chromes in here. These shades are so stunning. The one thing that I learned when I was actually using these shadows for the first time is, you know how lazy I am? I am not a glitter primer sort of person. That's what these need. And the mattes, beautiful on the eye. They don't need anything at all underneath them. They are beautiful on the eye all by themselves. I don't have an oily eyelid, but I find that these shades, especially these metallic-y shimmery shades, are amazing, but I do need a little bit of glitter glue. So I picked up a NYX glitter glue. I've also used the Pat McGrath Artistry one. Both of those work really well. But this palette here, This is remarkably affordable for multi-chromes. Now, What's Up Beauty is an indie brand here, and I'm really curious to keep trying more of their eyeshadow formulas because although we have like greens and purples, I have been using like this shade here a lot, this shade here a lot, and then these more neutrally shades. I did do something with the purples, and I mean, it's really, really, really pretty. Like, I was so impressed by this formula. And if you're using a glitter glue, I didn't end up with like glitter fallout underneath the eye. On the days that I was just using like the mattes and like one wash of color from like maybe like this multi-chrome here, it looked really beautiful and very lightweight, and it didn't look like it was too much. It was very much an everyday eye with a little bit of shine. I liked it so much. One of the things that they sent me that I wasn't a huge fan of was their mascara. This is their Watch Me mascara. I like the brush on here, but I find that the formula's a little on the dry side. What's interesting about this brush, if you're looking at it, you've got a side here that has all of these teeny tiny little teeth that really helps to give like definition. And then what looks like a regular mascara brush all through the rest. So you can bulk up the lashes with this side of the brush and then make sure you're getting all the clumps out with the other side. The only problem I had, like, I liked the design of the brush. It looked amazing and it worked really well, but I feel like the longer I've been wearing it, it felt a little dry as I opened it for the first time. And after about 4 to 5 weeks, it just kind of felt like, and that's it. Like it's already like all ready to be put in the, you know, okay, we used it, it's all done. Because at this point, when I place it on my eyelashes, I do feel like I get a little bit of crumbly fallout. And the minute I start getting fallout down here in little crumbly black pieces, it means that the mascara is too dry and it's time to pitch it. So I don't know whether this was one that had been sitting around on the warehouse shelf for a while and, you know, they just happened to send me an old one accidentally, or whether the formula starts out on the dry side and then as you continue to use it, just continues to get drier and drier to the point where you end up with that crumbly fallout. I do like this wand so much. I think the packaging is really nice. I like the square feel to it, but for me, it was the fact that the formula started out dry and continued to dry out so much that I'm not willing to use it anymore because it does give me those little crumbles. The one thing that they sent me that I was not expecting that has become an instant favorite is this. They sent me a set of their eye brushes. Now, okay, so 2 of mine have been used since I washed them. The other ones I washed recently, but every time I do my eyes, I reach for these brushes. What's Up Beauty makes these beautiful, cruelty-free goat hair brushes. They actually use a special system where the goats are groomed, and through the grooming process, they're able to collect these beautiful white hairs that they use for these handmade brushes. I love these. These are handmade in Japan. They are so soft. They feel just as soft as the ones that I have from Sonia G, from the ones that I have from Ruffer, from the ones that I don't have any white goat hair, but the really soft squirrel brushes from Wayne Goss. These are magnificent natural hair brushes. You can buy them individually, but the set is actually really nice. My favorite ones are the R101, this little teeny tiny pencil brush. I use it all the time. I'm also a big fan of the R102. And this packing brush right here, I'm surprised it's not dirty. This is the R106. I like the rest of them, but I find I use these guys a lot. And this one right here, this is the R105. My goodness. I feel like when you invest in quality brushes, that's the minute that all of a sudden any sort of eyeshadow look is possible. I really love and prefer natural hair brushes, and these ones from What's Up Beauty are stunning. I've washed them multiple times. They wash up really, really, really well, and I feel like they're a wonderful addition to my collection, and I'm so glad that they sent them to me in PR. Let's talk about the stuff that I bought myself. Okay. I have been trying this e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream. Here's a couple of things that I've learned about this. First of all, it's not the best foundation I've tried at the drugstore. I know it says a CC cream, but to me it's just a foundation. It is very high coverage And some people really like and want that. I like something that's a little bit more medium. I'm using the shade 120N. I feel like it's a really good color match for me. You can see it right here. This is definitely on the hydrating side. It's got some glow to it. But this right here was like a partial pump, like maybe half a pump, and I still got so much. I find that when I'm using this, if I use a whole pump on my face, I end up with cake face. Well, I feel like I look like I have a cakey look on. I need half a pump, and then I need to really thin it out with my fingers, and then I need to take a damp sponge and blend it in. And I feel like if I don't do that and I don't use a damp sponge to pick up the excess, this ends up being a little too heavy for my preference. So if you like more full coverage and you need something that's hydrating, you might really like this. One of the things that doesn't really work for me is that this always sets into like my forehead lines right in through here, especially this guy right here. That is not a favorite of mine. I feel like I can set this with powder, but still like halfway or 3/4 through the day, like, 4 to 6 hours in, I end up seeing this kind of like settling in through here. And there's nothing worse than seeing like a little line of collected foundation or something like right here. So I end up having to kind of rub it out. Is it the worst foundation at the drugstore? No, I feel like the shade match is good. I like that it's hydrating, it's comfortable. I need less than a pump, and then I still need to make sure I super thin it out for me to get the desired look, and then I still kind of have to babysit it through a day. It's not a bad product, but I feel like this is probably best for somebody who prefers high coverage and somebody who has fewer expression lines than I do. I do set my face with powder, but I find even when I do, I have to really pound the powder on to get this to the point where it doesn't move. And then at that point I look dry and older. So when I set it to the point where I feel like my face still looks like me, this ends up migrating into those expression lines. And for that reason, I don't know that it's good for mature skin. If you can get it to work for you, great. But I still feel like there's too many like boxes to check. Did I powder enough? Am I babysitting it through the day? Is it settling into my expression lines? It's not bad. It's just not my first choice from the drugstore. Here's a product that isn't new, but I finally decided to pick up and try for myself. It's from NARS. It's the Light Reflecting Foundation. This is one that I'm not absolutely sure I have the right shade. I have the shade Mont Blanc. It's one of the, not quite the lightest, but almost the lightest shade. And I still feel, do you see how it's like a little bit dark here? I feel like the one from e.l.f. is a little bit better, and this one from NARS tends to be just a little bit darker for my skin tone. I feel like it's a little bit more noticeable when I get right down to here, because you can see the rest of my skin on my neck is a little bit fairer. I know my face is a little bit darker, but I want things to look the same from here all the way down through like the V of my blouse. But what I do love about this is the finish. Oh my goodness, the finish is glorious. If you have mature skin and you're looking for something that's hydrating, you're looking for something that has a little bit of glow, that makes your skin look like skin but isn't heavy, I know she's a little pricey, but I feel like it's worth it. I still have not found my perfect NARS shade. I feel like the NARS foundations and concealers tend to lean a little bit on the warm side. And I feel like that's what I'm getting here. I feel like the next shade that would be lighter than this would be a little bit too fair. And if not too fair, maybe a little too pink. I don't know, I haven't tried it. This is the one that's the closest I can get it to work. This will probably look amazing in the summertime. But this is a really lovely formula. For me, it's just not exactly the right shade. I feel like I do get that line of demarcation, but sometimes I kind of like, I don't care. It just looks so pretty. I'll, use a little bit of bronzer coming down my neck just to make it look a little bit less obvious here. This is stunning, but I wish like my kingdom for my perfect shade match, because this formula is gorgeous. I finally decided to try something from Dermablend. I haven't tried anything from Dermablend before, and I got this concealer. This is their Cover Care Full Coverage Concealer. Oh my goodness. This is so full coverage, and this does something that a lot of other really like full coverage concealers don't do. It's hydrating. So it's got the giant sort of wand that we've been seeing for years from brands like Tarte with the Shape Tape. I have the shade N6. But what I like about this is that this shade right here is beautiful, but underneath my eyes, this needs to be set with powder. I feel like you see what a good shade match it is, and it really does give beautiful full coverage. This is one of those products that if I do not set this well, and I have down kind of like a hydrating under eye corrector for like the dark circles, you know, one hydrating layer with this also being hydrating, if I don't put enough powder over it, I can get like settling into the tiny, tiny fine lines under my eyes. So there are days, because this is such high coverage, I have it right here, that I actually just use this and I skip under eye corrector. This is also one of those products that works really well on the days I want to wear just concealer, kind of where I need it and buff it out. This is great because it's such a good shade match that it doesn't end up looking like it's too dark in areas. It goes really well from like where I have something like for redness, corners of the nose, to places where I don't have anything. It's just a really nice concealer. I still feel like there are other ones that I like better in my collection, but this one's really nice. If you have mature skin and need something that's hydrating but want full coverage, I think this one's a really good suggestion. So here's one more brush that I purchased myself specifically for a cream eyeshadow. It's the Merit #1 brush. This is the double-ended brush that has kind of like this fuller end on it, this little teeny tiny guy here. Could you use other things to achieve the look that you get from this? Absolutely. But I got this because I have been wanting to wear my solo shadows more. I'm wearing the solo shadow in Mid-Century today, and it was stupid easy to apply it with this. I used the large end here, kind of buffed it in, took the smaller end here right along the lash line and right along the bottom, and that was it. It was so easy. Okay, so here's where I tell you, I really love the brushes from Merit. There's only two. Their #1 brush is their foundation brush. This is my favorite foundation brush out of my entire collection. I like it so much, I have two. Like, that's how much I like it. I think it's fabulous. And because I like it so much, I was like, you know, I really want to try the #2 brush, which they made specifically for their solo shadows. And the minute I got this, I reached for my solo shadows more. And on those days when I got to get out the door, I could use my finger and tap it in. This just makes it really fast and really easy. Now, do you need this brush? No. Could you use what you already have? Probably. But I feel like this is well designed for the solo shadows, and if you really like the solo shadows and you use them regularly, you might really like having this #2 brush. I'm so glad I bought it. I reached for my solo shadows way more. All right, other eyeshadows I picked up. I got these little Petitfours from Viseart. These were new for the holidays. This one here is the Praline Epicé. I can't stop using this. I use this all the time. I love it. I love that we have a little bit of a cooler shade here. This brown is more neutral, not too warm, and a couple of warm tones, something a little bit bronzier, and this beautiful gold. These are so pretty. I especially love how this looks on the eyes. I think this is absolutely stunning. I do feel like it's similar in tone to the Praline Petitfour that they had from, was it 2020? But I feel like the difference is that you get kind of like these this is a more neutral, but this slightly cooler tone here. The other one is definitely a little bit more warm leaning. I did also pick up the Petitfour in Tyrian. This is kind of like that purpley kind of plummy tones. This is a really pretty, like, dark. Look at that. It's really dark. I never wear it that dark because that's a lot of contrast for my face. But if you look at this shade right here is kind of like a sheer, almost like a topper. And this is a matte shade. This is really pretty, but a lot of the color comes from these two, kind of like the matte and this really pretty purple shade here. I tend to kind of skip this guy, and I'll use these other three, like this one, and this one. I haven't used it as much as the Praline Epicé because this nude palette is right smack dab in the middle of my comfort zone. I want to use these more, but because I have fair skin, that dark matte, if I am not careful, it looks like I got a bruise. Like someone punched me in the eye and I've got a black eye. I think I need to get over my fear of purple eyeshadows. The time that I used the purples in like this palette and in here, I really like the look. It's just not my everyday, so I kind of have to push myself. But between the two of these, here's the one I can't stop wearing. Here's the one I want to wear more. It's just not my everyday look. I have been buying lipsticks left, right, and center. Most of that is for the luxury lip series that I'm working on right now. But these are all the lipsticks that fall underneath that $35 price point. These are ones that I have picked up either in a kit or here and there as I go along, things that I've been curious about that I wanted to share with you. Let's talk about the recent purchase that I had from Sephora. I don't know if they still have it. This was the Sephora Favorites Perfect Pout Kit. It came with 3 full sizes and 2 minis. Here's where I'll tell you, one of the minis I gave to one of my kids. It was the Clarins lip oil in Pitaya. Now, I love the Clarins lip oil, but the one that they had as a little mini in this set, I was pH adjusting, and I do not like pH adjusting lip colors, but my youngest loved it, and they have it, and probably have used it up. One of the other samples that came is this. This is the Maracuja Juicy Plump from Tarte. This is the shade Honeysuckle. Okay, I did not expect to like this as much as I did. This is such a pretty color. I feel like the one thing you have to be careful of here is that it is super soft. Like, this is interesting because this is one, normally these come in a click up only sort of mechanism, but here it's in a roll up, and I pressed a little too hard and it kind of got really soft and ooey gooey. But this shade in Honeysuckle, I feel like this might be the shade that I'd be willing to repurchase over and over again. There are some shades that I've tried either in the Juicy Lip or the Juicy Lip Plump that actually are too pink or too orange or too peach. They're just not right. But this Honeysuckle shade here, it's got a little bit of berry to it, a little bit of brown. I do like the formula a lot. And I thought about it, all the ones that I had tried up to this point, they weren't the right color for me to want to pay $24 for a full size one of these. I feel like this shade in Honeysuckle is the one that I would go back for. I feel like this is a really beautiful shade and I like the formulation a lot. All right, so the other 3 products that were in the set that I still have that I didn't give to one of my kids are all full sizes. One of them is the Ultra Lip from Glossier. This is the shade Villa. This is so pretty. This is one that I leave in my purse. I had to go get it from my purse because it is super comfortable. It is a little bit kind of like a peachy nude shade, but it's not too peach. It's really lovely. The one thing I have noticed is that sometimes these Ultra Lips don't click on, the caps don't close all the way. That's kind of bothersome. I did especially notice it with the Glossier Generation G. I feel like the packaging for the products from Glossier aren't always like this one won't really close all the way. Sometimes that happens to these guys, but this formula, okay, so the Generation G tends to be their more matte lipstick, but this Ultra Lip here is glossy, it's hydrating. You can put it on without a mirror and it's stunning. This shade in Villa is really quite lovely and I'm so glad that it came in this set. It's one I've been curious about for a long time. I just hadn't been willing to purchase it. So they also included a Rare Beauty lipstick. These are the Kind Words matte lipsticks and this is the shade Humble. This for me, although it is a lovely formula, I mean, look at that. It's such a pretty matte formula. It's affordable, it's comfortable, it feels like fantastic on the lips. It's not drying. The only problem is it's a little bit too peach toned for me. If it had just a little bit more pink to it, a little bit less peach, I would reach for it more. So I would love it if Rare would expand their shade range. When they came out with these lipsticks a couple of years ago, they only came out with 8 shades. And I feel like they definitely have room in their collection to expand the shade range because this formula is so good and it's such an affordable matte lipstick at the Sephora price point. It's one of the least expensive lipsticks there is. But to get it in this set for $36 and to get 3 full size and 2 samples, I mean, it was amazing. All right, the last lipstick they included is actually a luxury lipstick. It's a $36 lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. And this is the Matte Revolution in the shade Pillow Talk Medium. This is such a fabulous lipstick. It is beautiful because it's a little bit deeper than your average Pillow Talk. The fact that the brand is finally starting to realize that one shade of Pillow Talk isn't going to work for everybody. I like that they're diversifying their shade range, and this one is beautiful. This also is one of those that is great because it's a little bit more brown leaning, but it does have some mauve tones to it. I really like this. I feel like the Matte Revolution formula is really stunning. I do like the packaging. It's not necessarily like the most elegant, but the component itself is lovely in this rose gold. It's not a magnetic closure, but I've never found these lids to come off in my purse or in a pocket. Like when you click it on, it stays on until you take it off. And I have several of the lipsticks in this packaging, and I think they're really nice. But I really do like having the addition of Pillow Talk Medium in my collection. I recently picked up a set of Bobbi Brown lipsticks from Nordstrom. One of their holiday sets that they put on sale after the holidays had one of their lip crush glosses and their crushed lip oil lipsticks. Oops. I do like the formula of the lip gloss, but I feel like this is a little bit too peach. I feel like this works best for me when I wear it with a darker lip liner. This is the shade Free Spirit. It does get a little bit thick if you over apply, where it can actually kind of stick to itself and string and pull. But if you keep it sheer like this, it's really lovely and very nourishing. It's not my favorite shade. I don't know that I would need another one of those lip glosses, but this lipstick right here really surprised me. This is the Crushed Lip Color. This shade, oh, I love this shade. This is the shade Telluride. It's such a beautiful berry shade. It's kind of like a bruised berry. It's fantastic. The other thing I like about this is hydrating. This doesn't tend to find all of the fine lines around the outside edge of my lips and kind of just migrate. This is beautiful. This is comfortable. This is amazing. I haven't purchased a Bobbi Brown lipstick in probably more than a decade because I was like, not interested. You know, nothing's really calling my attention. And then I tried this and I was like, but wait, this has actually been really great. This is a really beautiful shade. And if you like something that's moisturizing, that's hydrating, that it's not necessarily going to instantly go everywhere, you might really like this Crushed Lip Color formula from Bobbi Brown. I like the shade in Telluride. It's a great kind of mauve plum shade for me. Other lip products that I have been trying is this one here from Fenty Skin. This is their Plush Puddin' lip mask, and I had two of these. It's got this interesting packaging where you can kind of like click it up and it comes up through this little hole here in the middle. It's a really nice, comforting balm. This one is the vanilla scent, so it's glossy, it's shiny, it's hydrating. I don't know that I like this more than the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask or the Glossier Balm.com. This is the sort of product here that I wish, although it is really nice. I got this in a duo pack. There was this one and there was like a berry one that I really like. I keep one in one part of the house and one here on my desk so that I have like lip products wherever I go so my lips are never dry. This one has a nice vanilla scent to it. I do like that it comes up in little tiny like clickable dosage, but the hard part about this is that you never know when you're out, because if you're opening up like a lip sleeping mask that comes in a little pot with a lid, you can see how close you are to the bottom, and here you're just clicking up until like click, click, oh, there's no more. That's my only thing that kind of makes me worried about this. And I think I'd probably only repurchase this if I was able to get it in a duo pack, because a duo pack was less expensive. It was a holiday special. Than if I were to buy them individually. I know they have some really fun scents like the Kalahari Melon and some other ones. It's a nice product. It does keep my lips hydrated overnight, but not as well as the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask or the original formula of Balm.com. Glossier is still selling the original formula of Balm.com in their cookie butter and their hot cocoa on their website, and that's the one with lanolin and beeswax, and I like that formula just a little bit more than this one. Am I saying this is terrible? No, actually I really like this. I just don't know that unless I could get it in a duo set at a reduced price, that this would be my lip mask of choice. It is nice, but I'm not absolutely head over heels. I've been looking for a less expensive alternative to the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. Now I know that is kind of like a cult classic. It's been around since the 60s and a lot of people have tried to dupe it. Here is one that I tried from CoverGirl. This is their Clean Fresh Tinted Lip Balm, and this is in the shade Bliss You Berry. I feel like this is kind of close. I no longer have a almost lipstick in Black Honey because the last one I had I gave to my cousin when she was visiting at Thanksgiving. And she said that she really loved it. It's like, well, I have one. I almost never use it. Why don't you take it? And then she's like, well, my daughter's always telling me I need to use things that are cruelty-free. So I was looking for cruelty-free options. This one here from CoverGirl is one, and I feel like it's a really similar tone. I feel like the one from Clinique is a little bit glossier, but this is actually really nice, very hydrating, and you get like so much product in it. If you think about the one from Clinique, it's like half the like circumference here. It's like half the size. It's really skinny. You're getting so much more product here, and this is so much less. The other one is $24. This can be hard to find. I can't always find it in my Ulta, but I can find it on the Ulta website. I did also pick up one of the e.l.f. Oh man, it was their lip slicks in Black Cherry. That's another cruelty-free option that actually is a really good approximation and is only $5, but it's in and out of stock all the time, and I can only ever get it on the e.l.f. website, and only when it's back in stock. It's like out of stock more than it is back in stock, and I'm surprised they don't stock it better. All right, another lipstick I tried is this one here from Clinique. They have repackaged and reformulated their pop lipsticks. And their pop lipsticks are a lipstick that comes with a primer infused into the base. This is the shade in Bear Pop here. They do have 3 formulas in this reformulation of their long wear pop lipsticks. This is the shine shade. They have a matte, they have a satin, and it all comes in this green component here. I actually really like it. I feel like this reimagination of the Clinique lipsticks is actually really lovely. I think this component is so nice. It does have the Clinique C on top. It has it right here as well, and a very teeny tiny sticker on the bottom. But this lipstick, I feel like although it is pretty here, it's a little bit pinker than I was expecting. With the name Bear Pop, I was expecting more of a kind of nude shade, and this is very pink on the lips. It does have that little bit of shimmer. I'm just gonna put it over the top of what I have here because this lipstick is kind of, my lips are crying for hydration. I'm really intrigued by the formula. I would like to try the matte as well as the satin. I thought I was getting a satin. I wasn't really being very particular. These had just launched when I ordered it, and I was like, oh, I love Bear Pop, because I remember it from a previous iteration where it wasn't a kind of like metallic-y sort of shiny shade. It was more of a cream shade. So although it is a pretty shade here, it's a little pinker than I would like, but I feel like this formulation is nice. But I'll tell you, it's kind of hard for me to spend $26 in a Clinique lipstick because I'm the kid from the late 80s, early 90s who remembers when these lipsticks were what, $14, $50, $15 a piece? And they just keep getting more and more and more expensive, but isn't that true for everything? All right, we're just down to reds. So this is one, not that I purchased, that was a gift with purchase, and it's from NARS. This is the Power Matte Lipstick, and this is in the shade Dragon Girl. Man, this color is absolute perfection. I think it is so nice. That is one swipe right there. Here's where I tell you, this lipstick, this is of course a little sample size. It's not the full size. The full size I think is $34. This is a great lipstick. But when you are 49 like me and your lips are a little bit finicky and they want moisture, this is not the formula for me. I really wanted to try their new crayon lipsticks, like the Power Matte pencils, but I was like, no, no, no. If this is causing me problems with being dry and chapped and my lips looking kind of shriveled and prune-like, there's no way I'm gonna pick up one of their Power Matte pencils. But if you like a long wear lipstick that's in bullet form, this is a beautiful formula. I just find that for my 49-year-old lips, this is a little too drying. I think it all comes down to, can your lips handle something that's not like hydrating when you initially put it on? Because this is not necessarily hydrating, but it's also not really drying. But at the age that I'm at, where my lips are right now, and living in the Pacific Northwest with temperatures, you know, that are colder in wintertime, I need something that's just a little bit more hydrating in February than this is giving. So I might really love this come July, but right now, I mean, the shade is perfection. I like how easy it is to apply and how pigmented it is, but it's just a teensy bit too dry for my lips in February. Here's a lipstick that I purchased and I've been wanting to love and wanting to love, and I don't know. I have feelings and I'm not sure exactly what they are. My favorite lipstick brand for years used to be Lipstick Queen. And Lipstick Queen was the idea that Poppy King created. She wanted to do a lipstick brand where she was creating all different sorts of formulas, and I loved the fact that some of them were really pigmented. Those were the Center lipsticks, and some were the same shades but really sheer. Those were the Saint lipsticks. And then she had like the velvet ropes and the silver screens, like these really luxurious, beautiful lipsticks. I used to have more than 50 Lipstick Queen lipsticks, and I loved it. Everything that Poppy came out with, purchase, purchase, purchase. And then sometime in the late 20-teens, Poppy sold the brand to Morphe. And once Morphe picked it up, it just kind of went over the edge. And now that Morphe is bankrupt, it's been a real issue. But Poppy relaunched her lipstick brand. It's not called Lipstick Queen anymore, but it's called Poppy King. And there is this lipstick she created in the 90s. This was a red lipstick with a bit of shimmer in it called Original Sin. Now, I remember when this lipstick launched, but it was hard to get a hold of in the United States. And if you're a lipstick lover, you know who Poppy King is. And this is the shade Original Sin. This is one of those that has a little bit of a metallic look. You can see it better on the lips. Hold on a second. Let me just put this on for you. This is the shade Original Sin on. It has a really nice sort of slightly cushy feel, but after about an hour, I feel like it kind of dries down. This definitely feels like an older formula. And what's interesting is that Poppy mentioned that she went back to the original lab that created these formulas in the 90s. It's the original lab formula from the 90s, and it's recreating these lipsticks. And I'll tell you, this is a very different formula. I can tell by the way it feels on my lips than what I'm used to today. I'm used to things that have just a little bit more of a slip to them, things that are not quite as heavy on the lips. And this wears like a champ. This doesn't really go anywhere, but after about 4 or 5 hours, this actually makes my lips look a little bit dry. Like it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't find all of those fine lines and spread. But this kind of like metallic red shade, it's kind of hard to see, but you might catch the metallic here. It's not as flattering on the lips as I thought it would be. And Poppy is older than I am. I don't know. I'm struggling because I love Lipstick Queen so much, and all the lipsticks that Poppy created and came out with before she sold her brand, I was like head over heels, sold, sold, sold. And so when she relaunched her Poppy King lipstick line, I was like, yes! I feel like I'm lacking. I picked this up on Moda Operandi and I think it was like $34. Some of the other Seven Deadly Sin lipsticks have not yet been released here in the United States, but for $34, I'm wanting more than like a plastic cap with a plastic component, you know, and a very big, I mean, it's a beautiful lipstick. It's got like Poppy's emblem right here on it, but I don't know. This is not serving everything I would expect like a nearly luxury price lipstick to give. This component feels very drugstore, almost like a ColourPop sort of situation. I don't know. I want to love it because I love Poppy's vision for lipstick. I've loved it for decades. And then when I tried this, I'm like, oh, one of her original lipsticks and the original formula from the original factory. I was like, oh. So I don't know. I was thinking about picking up some of the Seven Deadly Sin lipsticks, and after trying this one, I was like, maybe not. Last lipstick I wanted to share with you is one you can still get. It was a holiday exclusive from Beauty Pie, and it's the one that I'm wearing right now, and it's a little duo, and it's this. So this is a little lip stilo duo from Beauty Pie, and it's the shade Rougie, and it's a a lip liner, and it's kind of like a half-size lip liner, and this little teeny tiny skinny little red lipstick. Oh my goodness, I love this thing so much. This really reminds me of the Hourglass Confession Slim lipsticks. It has a similar formula. It's got a nice little vanilla scent to it, but it is so teensy tiny that it's easy to put on and that you don't actually get it outside of where you want it. If you're looking at it, this right here is rougey, and this is the liner that comes with it. And this set is $18. Now, if you are looking for a more affordable lipstick that is a bold red that performs like luxury, this set right here is for you. It's currently on last call right now on Beauty Pie, but this formula is fantastic. It actually feels like a luxury lipstick. It performs really well. It's hydrating, not drying. The fact that you get both a lip liner and a lipstick, and it's super pigmented. Each of these is like one swipe. So if you were wanting full pigment, full red, like bright and punchy, I think you would really, really like this. I feel like there are certainly other lipsticks that are similar to this formula. I feel like sometimes having something small like this, if you're using a really bold color, is great because it gives you precision, as well as a lip liner like this. Mine certainly needs to be sharpened. I didn't sharpen it before I showed it to you, but I have actually been using this quite a lot. I've really been surprised because if you've been watching any of my luxury lipstick videos, I have so many new reds, but I keep coming back to this little duo here. And for $18, I mean, not everybody's a red lipstick everyday kind of person. I could very easily be an everyday red lipstick kind of gal, but because I have so many other lipsticks, I don't always defer to red, but red is my favorite. This formula is fantastic. I've been really hit and miss with the lipsticks from Beauty Pie recently. I didn't like their unlipsticks. I didn't like the ones that were their Wonder Gloss Shine lipsticks. I feel like they've done better lipsticks in the past. But when they released this for holiday, this little set here for $18, it is actually really good. I'm gonna have to check really quick that they used to have both a red as well as a nude. And I feel like their nude might be sold out. It's like, I feel like a nude is something that everyone kind of goes for. But if you are a red lipstick lover, this little set here in Rougey, these two shades here, it looks like this, absolutely stunning. Worth more than $18, super comfortable, long wearing, and uber pigmented. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. I would love to know what products you've been trying recently. Which ones have been really like grabbing you by the lapels and pulling you in and saying, I'm fantastic. Which ones have you been like, I really want to love you, but it's not working for me? And the ones that really kind of surprise you and keep you coming back, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you again soon.